Hey, this is Joe again, and today let's talk about Android P. So yeah, I've been using Android P beta for a few days now, and I just want to give you some thoughts about some of the things I like, some of the things I don't like, and just to let you know, I've been using Android way back. I'm trying to think what the first version of Android I used was, and I believe it was Jelly Bean? A, B, C, D, Donut? Yeah, possibly that. So way back, I've seen a lot of different iterations, and I'm excited to see what Android has and what Google has for Android P. I'm not going to go over all of the things that it does and doesn't do, but I'm just going to point out a few things that I like and maybe a few things I don't like so much. Anyway, let's get into it.
The first feature is adaptive battery, and I've noticed after using Android P that my battery seems to last significantly longer. Google has applied AI to the adaptive brightness.
Adaptive brightness learns how you like to set the brightness slider, given the ambient lighting, and then does it for you in a power-efficient way. So you'll literally see the brightness slider move as the phone adapts to your preferences.
I haven't gotten a chance to play with this long enough to determine whether it's on a per-app basis or depending on time of day, but I'm assuming that Google does use all that data to figure out where you want to set the brightness. If you're like me and you've ever written a really long comment on Instagram and you find that you made a mistake somewhere, on the recent versions, they don't allow you to change that. And so that's always been an annoyance for me. Before, I think I remember that they used to let you copy and paste from Instagram, but now they don't let you do that. But there is a way around it using the new multitasking gesture. You're able to go through the apps and actually copy from any app. So I thought that was a cool feature. Hopefully they don't change that in the final version because that's something I really like. The other thing is that when you go to search for something in the settings, they've always allowed you to do a search, but now when you search for it, it'll bring up the correct page, but it'll also blink and notify you like, hey, this is the thing that you were searching for. Just one way that they've made it a little bit easier. Also, the volume now is on the side, and I think that's really cool. It's just a small little touch that they've done, but it just makes it a little bit more intuitive. I've also noticed that there are more steps to the volume control, so there's finer control. You can easily adjust it and make slight adjustments so it doesn't go from semi-loud to extremely loud. There's a lot of steps in between. It also defaults to controlling your media. So countless times before, I'd go to change the volume and it would just change my ringer volume. That's something I don't change very often. Whereas the loudness of a YouTube video, I change all the time. Before, I used to have to load a completely custom ROM in order to just have that one setting. Now it's built in. Hopefully they keep it that way. The other thing is that you can still hold down the power and volume button to take a screenshot, but now if you hold down the power button, it's actually a setting right there. They've also made it so that when you go to share that screenshot, you can draw on it before you share it. Pretty cool. Now, the main reason why I downloaded this was because of the gesture navigation. When I saw the iPhone X, I was a little bit jealous that they had the full real estate of their screen. iPhone has never had on-screen navigation. The advantage to that is that all of the apps utilize the entire screen. They didn't have a back button that was consistent, but it's built into every app. Now that they have this new navigation system that uses gestures, they're still kind of stuck using buttons. They still have to have a home button and a back button because it's not built into the apps. Problem with that is that it's taking up screen real estate. Whereas with the iPhone, you'll notice if I'm in an app like Instagram, there's no extra buttons below the Instagram button. So I hope that on the final version, Google is able to implement something similar to that, at least making it transparent, something. I'm not sure exactly how they could do it, but I would like to utilize more of my screen. I do think the gesture navigation is still pretty cool. When you swipe the pill to the right, it'll navigate you through the different apps that you have open, and there's this cool feedback when you're switching between the apps, and it's kind of a cool thing. I have noticed that it's hard to stop specifically on the app that you want sometimes. Sometimes I might accidentally go too far to the left or to the right, but maybe that's something they can work out in the future. If I have to go real far back, I find it easier to just swipe up and then scroll through the apps and stop at the one that I want that way.
So anyways, that's it. If you have any questions about what the experience is like on Android P on the Google Pixel 2 XL, let me know in the comments below. For me, I think it's actually pretty good as a daily driver. There are a few graphical glitches here and there, sometimes with Instagram. I've noticed it a few times with Netflix. And so anything that's graphics intensive, I've noticed that there are a few little quirky things that it does when you're trying to switch between apps, things like that. But other than that, everything seems to work pretty well. I haven't noticed anything that's like a real deal breaker, like not being able to take calls or not being able to use the camera or anything, any serious force closes. But other than that, I think it works pretty well. If you need your phone to be rock solid, stable, then I would say stick to Android Oreo, the latest version. If you're more experimental and you want to try something new, you want to be the first to try something out, things like that, then I would say go ahead. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.